Danny, crazy game. What did you make of it?
Those words exactly. I think I just said to Phil up there that there's loads of things you could and will dissect, but when everyone is so vocal, myself included, about we want to win the league, we have to win the league, it is about the 3 points. You have to be more, I think, focused and single-minded on just the end result, which obviously everyone is, do you know what I mean? But to win 4-3 or to win 3-0, you just look and we've got 3 points to our name after one game. They will beat a lot of teams this year. They will still one of the top scorers, I think, amongst the teams that didn't finish up there for a reason. 10 men, they're leaving 2 up, they're going for it. And it's a very good tactic to score goals. Yes, they leave themselves vulnerable at the back, but hopefully, like I said in the pre-match, they'll hurt a lot of our rivals this year. They gave us a hell of a good game. I think there was a lot of naughty tackles, shall we say, but your temper and your mood softens a little bit when you have won the game. You left it late, but the boys showed a lot of character.
I imagine that if you are going to win the league, you're not going to be able to defend like that.
No, definitely not. And I think, yes, pre-season's finished, but listen, it takes a while sometimes to be the finished article within the season. I'm not saying you wait till February, March. Sometimes it's sort of early, mid-September where you really are ticking all the boxes. Walking at home in front of 7,500 where there's pressure on us to win and win comfortably is a completely different feeling and approach from the players and staff, and Accrington away in the pre-season friendly in front of 500 people. So that brings a pressure in itself, and there's things that you can do and get away with in pre-season that you can't get away with. Yes, the goals were disappointing, and I'd be lying if I said we weren't going to look back and try and eradicate them, because it's all right making mistakes if you don't make them again. They can say the same thing today. The biggest positive for us was after their third goal and the equaliser. It really could have been a horrible end to a nutty game. And what was great about the support today, as always, was we didn't sigh. As soon as we kicked off, they were cheering us on to go and to get that winner. So that's a massive help. We showed some real quality building up to the play, nice and patient. Ollie Banks picked the right moment for the cross, and a great header for Quiggs. And like I say, it couldn't happen to a nicer boy to win us that game today.
Did you sense that there was a little bit of tension and anxiety during parts of the game in the play?
I think we sense that every game, really, unless you're comfortable. If you're 3-0 up with like 20 minutes to go, us, the players, the supporters, you don't feel it, do you? But when it's really close, it's the first game, you want to get off to a good start after a really good pre-season. Everything you could be anxious about, you will be. Every time they attack, every set piece they get, every time we lose the ball in dangerous areas, knowing how they play and they look to counter really quickly. Any giveaway of the ball leads to a bit of tension. So I think hopefully there'll be a lot, but I think there'll be very few games this year where we can all relax. After about 20 minutes, I think we had Willstone away last year, didn't we? Which was a real one where we couldn't relax. It was 3-0 up at half time, I think it was. But on the whole, we're going to have a lot of anxiety, nerves and pressure. But like I said to you yesterday, mate, we're going to have to deal with all those things to be successful.
In terms of the positives, good to see Ryan Colclough and Ian Mandeville both get off the mark and carry on where they left off at the end of the season.
Yeah, definitely. Ryan, I think especially when I think Joe Cook had been booked, and he sort of took him on a few times successfully. We were trying to get him the ball Ryan a little bit more, no disrespect to Joe, just to try and take him on, and obviously led to certain things happening in the game. So, yeah, even Mandy's Mandy. He's player of the year last year for a reason. I think he just gives blood for the team, for the football club. He's got quality. He isn't just a lad who runs around, with a bad haircut. He works ever so hard. His set pieces were fantastic. His goal was brilliant, and he's just a proper team player. So he's another one like Joe Quigley. They deserve every pat on the back they get tonight.
There were a few heavy challenges, shall we say, on Armando Dobra. Do you feel like there needs to be more protection for him this season?
I've got to say, we've had the referee a few times as a fourth official, and he's a pleasure to work with. He was very polite today. We spoke to him a few times at half time, just quietly, so I think he might have got a few wrong there, so I'll watch it back, so that's all you got to ask from referees, that they accept your, not even criticism, just your questioning. It's very easy for us because we've looked at things back on a laptop, and our views are certain things should have gone a different way. But when you're in the heat of the moment, it's tough as a referee, and we're all the first ones to moan at them. We get that, but I think there'll be a lot of them this year, not just in our league. There's a lot of rules and stipulations coming in this season that weren't in before. I think we've just got to be careful that everyone keeps the respect that the referees and officials deserve in place, because they deserve respect. But I think we've got to be careful with the new rules, that it doesn't turn into a very stop-start, non-passionate game, if you know what I mean. 30 minutes added on, and one of us standing up from the touchline to maybe give some instructions, being ushered back straight away. So there has to be rules. I get that. We've just got to make sure it doesn't become a little bit too regimented. But it's always easier to say the things I'm saying and be calm about decisions when you've won. So we've got to enjoy the moment.
He did seem to let a lot of things go as well, a lot of strong challenges which were probably up for debate, shall we say.
Which you don't mind, and if you ask Dorking, I'm sure there's things went on in the game that they're not happy with, you know, so you can't be too biased. All I would say that going back to Cabs at Weymouth, Dobbs last year with the same player, Aldershot, without going over old ground, and Dobbs today, you know, it's not so much get the man sent off, we need to win the game, it's really injure the lad, potentially break his leg. I'm not saying the lad meant to do that, and I might be wrong with my assessment of the tackle. I think that's the only frustration that I get personally. On the whole, I think, listen, refs have got a tough job. It was a real humdinger of a game, wasn't it? Maybe a hard one to referee. I'm sure he'll go on to have a good refereeing career. What a way to start the season for the neutral.
Have you had any explanation from the referee about the penalty decision?
No, I think it's another thing we watch back. For me, it is a penalty for them. You've seen them not given, but you've seen them given. So if the old rounds up and go, yeah, probably a penalty.
No Jeff King today.
Real tough one. I think obviously Shet's come in and played at Bristol Rovers. Jeff was ill a few days before. Would Jeff have played at Bristol? Who knows? And then maybe it's different today. That's football. And that sadly is when you've got two players in every position, which I often bang on about. You've got to make sure that the next one's ready, because there is a ruthless mentality that's got to come into you as a player. That being, if I don't play well, I'm dropped. If I miss my chance for injury or illness, sadly, sometimes does really well. You know, Paul Cook will keep that person in the team. So, like you said at the start of the interview, there's a lot of things to get better on, and they won't happen overnight. But in the meantime, we've just got to keep winning football games.
And you've made another signing in the last 24 hours, Michael Jacobs. What do you like about him?
He's a very good footballer. Obviously, the gaffer and Gary know him well from working with him before. Seems a great lad. He's probably in the same bracket as Will and Tom, where they played at a higher level in recent seasons. And they've come in with no airs and graces, and they don't look down on the league or the fixtures at all. Give them instructions, they all follow it, they want to win, and that's what we've got to make sure we keep in this team and this football club and these supporters, that every game we just want to win. We just want to win every game. By hook or by crook, we've got to win. With that, we want a performance and a grace that obviously we want to be proud of. If you don't get it every week, you win the game.
And did Ryan Paul, the Flynn Mandeville, just come off the end with a little tiness or not?
Yeah, man, he made a joke, you know, like I said, Jeff, that he hasn't taken so many set pieces his whole life, you know, and I think we had a lot, and I thought his delivery today was fantastic. We usually get the first contacts on most set pieces, even if nothing home and defending, with Jeff King usually takes him. Man, he stepped up to the plate today, and I thought his delivery was fantastic, and what a free kick he scored as well.